Geopolitically, we in a field. That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Rappers act and say they high, say they sip with pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up, had to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in a field. That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Took the way you saw the world, then distorted it. Now you think you wanna rock that twirl somewhere orbiting. Theories disproportionate, the truth distorted quick with a forceful grip. They force a simple that we absorbing quick. Took the people's signature, that mean extorted it. They forging it, if news anchors informants who informing them. There's a surplus, but they tell us there are shortages. Credit economy mortgages, dollar that's supported with empty fortresses. But what's important is this, we courting ships, important gifts, of course it is. What extortion is in accordance with an assortment list of foreign tricks we ignoring, which informing this, informing this. It looked like we were snoring tricked. Pedophilia and the government endorsing it. Yeah, eugenics is exactly what abortion is. You just vilify those insubordinate. Way to matrix engineer, that's unfortunate. Geopolitically, we in a field. That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Rappers act and say they high, say they sip with pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up just to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in a field. That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real?
In the world. What is up? All right, so the stream is called Breaking the Silence. Apparently a lot of people have a lot to say, and there's a lot of speculation. So I figure we lay everything out, get caught up with what's going on, and I'll maybe even drop a link for people to jump on. So anybody got something to say about the last few months going back to the Antarctica trip, what happened, where I've been, what's been going on, say it with your chest. I'll let you jump on. Obviously, be respectful. We no over talking, no excessive cussing, etc. But I'll probably open up the lines, let people jump on a little bit later. I can't do like a crazy long stream tonight because I have to catch a flight in the morning. And yeah, I wanted to get started earlier. I couldn't. So, but all right. Let's make sure everything's good. Looks like the audio is good. So, all right, where do we start here? Like the stream and share. And if you want to support the stream, Ko-fi.com/Witsit. Ko-fi.com/Witsit. All right. So obviously we went to Antarctica back in December. Sorry. So, ever since then, obviously we've had people just spiraling or whatever. So, for those who don't know, Guy named Will Duffy said he would fund a bunch of people to go to Antarctica. Originally, it was just gonna be him, one flat earther, one globe earther. Ended up turning into, him and a couple flat earthers. My stipulation was I wouldn't go if he didn't wanna go or if he wasn't on the same plane as me, right? Because I was like, I didn't fully trust it, obviously. I'm like, "Dude, they're gonna try to take us out or something, who knows?" And the reason for that is obviously as a flat earther, you realize that there's so much sketchy going on with Antarctica. So many lies, so many fabricated stories, so many claimed um like paths and journeys that don't add up. They'll say, "Oh, they went directly across Antarctica," and then you go find out actually they just dipped inland just a little bit according to their own paths. The official world record, Guinness World Record for circumnavigation was given to people that didn't even complete it. They ran into some weather issue and turned around, but they were still given the world record. Obviously, it's the one thing that apparently everyone in the world can agree on, et cetera, et cetera. It does seemingly hold a lot of answers, right? Like certainly with kind of this AE type projection that people have shared around the scene. If Antarctica is the idea of this ice ring around us, then, what's that could hold a bunch of answers, obviously. Like, if you can just keep going, south away from the center, then where do you go? And obviously, on a globe, you would just continue and you'd pop back up, and you'd be able to just keep doing that. So anyway, Antarctica's obviously always been a place of interest. So, yeah, and obviously this is what I find so surreal. Now people want a Monday morning quarterback, and they want to look back and be like, "You should have known that they were setting you up, and look what you did. You knew this was going to be bad for flat Earth, and why did you fall for that?" And all this. It's like I didn't fall for anything. I would do it again because I got to go to a place that almost no one gets to go to. I got to go to a place that we just sit here and theorize about. We know the governments have all got together and they keep it under wraps and it holds a bunch of answers, right? It's a place that basically no one throughout mankind's history, based on what we know, right? I think that older civilizations could have obviously gone there, no telling, but then no one gets to go there. And so, did I know that they had a super biased, slanted intention? Of course. I mean, they were open about that. Did I know that they would be unfair and that they would possibly be dishonest, of course. We went through all kinds of negotiations beforehand. We're going back and forth with the contracts. I actually wrote it, um, making sure they couldn't use my likeness and image without my permission. There all kinds of stipulations, back and forth. It was like a whole thing, but it was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. So there's apparently still a group of people that claim that I didn't go there. And, like, I just want you to be honest for a second, right? Just think about it. Now let's just imagine if you're me, and imagine that you just actually did go there. Just imagine that you're me, and you actually went there. How would you feel about someone claiming they know you didn't go there? You would just think it would just be so retarded that it's like, "Okay, bro." Right? Just actually think about that. And so I wanna just address a few things. So that's kind of what the stream is going to be about, right? So one of these ideas or what people were saying is that like I just ran away and left everyone hanging and didn't address anything, didn't answer any questions, blah blah blah. That isn't true at all. I got back home and then we like immediately went to Tennessee for Christmas. And then I come back and even while I'm there, while I'm with family, I'm like jumping in Discord, answering everyone's questions because I know everyone wants to know. I have tons of questions and all this, right? And I was in Discord between Ether Cosmology and Earth Awakenings nonstop for like 2 straight weeks at least. Nonstop. We're talking dozens and dozens of hours of me sitting there, people lining up and just spamming me with questions about the trip, right? Just repetitive questions, accusations, slander, insulting me, doing everything under the sun, like that you can imagine, just disgusting, deplorable behavior. Like attacking me, lying about me, dogpiling on me, and asking me the same questions over and over and over and over and over and over, and just acting like anti-flat earthers, like acting like the super lame people I debate against or have debated against for years, right? Exactly the same behavior, making these just completely baseless accusations and claims super confidently, then me directly addressing it, refuting it, and then instead of acknowledging it or conceding, just immediately moving on to some other point, just constantly in this desperate search for some gotcha, right? I did this for hours, bro, hours and hours with people super arrogant as if like they pay me or I'm their employee. I owe them something. I must come and be subjected to being berated for hours and hours every single day, all night. I was pulling all-nighters answering people's questions, going through videos, frame by frame of a place I know I went. I literally physically experienced it in the real world. Someone's telling me I didn't, and then making me go through frame by frame of videos that came from the trip. And I'm sitting there going through them, answering the questions, answering every question they can think of for hours and hours. And then someone new would come in and ask the same questions over and over, right? People are apparently saying that I didn't answer any questions. I just disappear. That isn't true at all. I even then did streams about it. I actually did a debate about it. I actually debated it, right? Like a multiple hour debate with Dustin Nemos with Dave Weiss moderating about if I actually went to Antarctica. I did a debate about it and kept answering the questions and kept answering the questions. So I just want to point that out, right? I didn't just bell and leave everyone hanging. That didn't happen at all. And I want this. I'm not gonna get like real worked up in this stream or anything, but I'm just explaining. I want you to, if anyone's being honest, like just put yourself in my shoes here. Put yourself in my perspective. Obviously, something that was unexpected, at least from my end, was Jiren came back and flipped and says the Earth's a globe now. Right now, we have people saying stuff like I flipped. That or I'm just waiting for the documentary to come out, then I'm gonna flip. All these things, right? And people still claiming that we didn't actually go. And I just want to throw this out there just so you know. One of the real I ended up getting so frustrated about that, right? I just kind of fell back, and there were many reasons for it, and we're gonna get into it, but it's like when all that does, when people just like baselessly claim it was all fake and it never happened, it just comes across as if the flat earther is freaking out and thinks that if we did go to Antarctica and saw a 24-hour sun, that it disproves flat earth. So they have to say it didn't happen to protect their belief system. It's just like what globe earthers do, like what heliocentrists do, right? It's what people believe in the mainstream model do. It's like just deny anything that doesn't comport with their preconceived notion, with their bias, with their belief system. And I just want to be, I'm just saying it was very eye opening for me, bro, because, you know, obviously within all different groups, you have good and bad, you have all kinds of different types of personalities and but I will just very bluntly say, I mean, I realize that there's a good amount of narcissism within quote unquote flat earth. And like, you know, I'm gonna check my own. Like, for example, when I played football in high school and I was a captain, like I checked my homies, the other players, right? I wanted them to check me. You hold each other accountable, right? You don't just talk about how the other team sucks. It's like, yes, of course, anyone that's obsessively trying to debunk flat earth for years on the internet is weird. That's super weird. And they're lying and becoming obsessed with everyone that's going to try to ruin their life and trying to make sure they can't have jobs and stalk them. And that's super weird. You believe the mainstream consensus that we were all told since we were little babies. And there's a group of people that don't believe it, right? That heard this idea that actually the Earth's not a tilted, wobbling, spinning ball. It's not a globe. It's actually flat and it doesn't move. And thought it was crazy and just looked into it to debunk it, and then we're like, "Whoa, wait a minute." And there's a group of people that no longer believe. They suspended belief, right, in the globe Earth model that we were all told, the mainstream model. To go obsessively stalk those people or to find immense enjoyment out of the humiliation of them, is sadism, and it's just super weird. So, I don't care. Like, those are independent of each other, right? Like, the fact that there's a group of people that do that, weird. Right? Like, if I thought the Earth was a globe, the last thing if I just thought that the mainstream model was true, everything we were told is true, the last thing I would do is, like, obsessively go talk to people that didn't think that and try to humiliate them and make fun of them. It's like, I wouldn't go jump in some Discord about, like, with a bunch of transgenders and, like, argue with them about, like, gender and then try to humiliate them and mock them and laugh at them and obsessively stalk them, and wherever they go, I go and watch their streams, and, like, that's so weird. Like, um, or, like, there was a they act like it's the most absurd notion ever. Like, if there was a Discord about how pigs fly, you wouldn't find me in there obsessing over this group of people that say that pigs fly or whatever, right? So, anyway, um, I'm talking about how so many people show their true colors that claim to be flat earthers or whatever. So anyway, I don't want to get too all over the place here, but I just wanted you guys to know like what actually was going on with me. It was that, and then I was trying to basically do what I felt like I was trying to do it for everybody, basically, right? So Jiren like flipped, and then who's left, right? So I feel like I'm answering all the questions. Um, People are coming at me because Jiren flipped. They're coming at me. It's just all crazy, right? Just like constant attacks and accusations. Dude, I did that for the truth. I did that for anyone who claims to be interested in the truth about the realm that we live in, right? Because there is absolutely, undeniably a major deception in terms of the nature of where we live. And that's why I talk about this. Let me make this very clear, right? There's obviously a group of people that flat earth is like their thing and they identify through it and they're like, "Oh, well, I got flat earth, so like that's something I have. Now I have a group right now. I can be I can make content and be this person that is at the front of the group or whatever." That is not that doesn't appeal to me at all. That it like people say that about me, but it isn't true at all. My life could be significantly easier without that, without flat earth. Even in the world of making content. I've had many conversations with many people that say, "Oh, I could get you connected here. I could get you on this show. You may even get your own show." All these things. You just got to drop the flat earth thing. I'll be in X spaces and I'm talking about Jewish supremacy, talking about even ether, right? Like how gravity, the way it's currently defined, isn't true. Geocentrism gets right there over in the bucket where people start freaking out. But all these other things that I can talk about, right? So quantum mechanics, and just social issues, historical issues, etc. I will have conversations and say an X space there, and people will want me to come be on panels, be on shows, get connected with certain people. But flat earth is a hindrance to me in that world. Like, just there's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Right? Obviously. I mean, so many people have even told me privately they would love to have me on their show, but they can't because they think that their audience would just freak out way too much for platforming that conversation, the flat earth conversation, even though they find it interesting or are there on the fence or whatever. Okay, so I just want to make sure that you guys know where I'm actually coming from. That like that's the situation. That's the actual situation, right? And I discuss it because I think it's important. I'm passionate about it. I think it is a foundational deception. I think the fact that they told everyone, they tell you from such a young age that you're on this tiny speck of dust in this ever expanding universe of nothingness, tucked away in an insignificant corner, it completely warps your worldview. It warps the lens in which you view the world through. And we're telling children this and basically tossing them out as if they're abandoned and meaningless and nothing. And I think that that's awful because that isn't actually true. if that's what the truth was, then sure, tell whoever, right? It isn't the truth though. The evidence has overwhelmingly and repeatedly shown the Earth is in an incredibly special position, right? Everything is moving around it. It is in the center of everything that we can see. It's the most special position. And yeah, I'm super passionate about that, right? So that's why I talk about it. I want to know the truth. I don't just because I found out that they lied and that there's all kinds of deception that's kind of compartmentalized and alternatives are censored and made up stories and fabricated claims of evidence and all these things to kind of bolster this lie and then suppress the truth about where we live, right? So I'm trying to we've discovered that, okay, and, like, you can very easily falsify the claimed model of the Earth that we're told that we live on, and this is a pretty big deal, right? It's where you live. It's like it's the foundation of your cosmological view, right? So, that is cosmology, the importance of cosmology and the role it plays in terms of developing who you are and how you interpret the world and what it is and what the meaning of life is can't be understated, can't be overstated, right? Like it's immensely important. Okay, so the point is that I don't know all the answers, bro. And what has happened, this what was so beautiful about flat Earth was like we knew we didn't know all the answers. That was the whole point. The whole point was we were all told that we know all the answers. We were told we know exactly how far everything is away from us, and it's tens and hundreds of millions of miles away and 46 billion light years away, like inconceivable numbers. And we know exactly how big everything is and how everything works. And we know exactly what gravity is and the mechanisms that make everything work. We know exactly what the layers of the earth is and how big it is. And like we know everything. So here you go. This now you know we figured it all out. Right. And then the beautiful thing about flat earth was you realize like your mind is freed, right? You realize, wait a minute, like, no, 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 right? This bottled up little version of the world that we were told we live in isn't true. That was the whole thing, bro. Like I'm kind of an OG in terms of when this really popped up and started getting popular. There were people that obviously have been in the flat earth longer than I have, but 2000 early, like beginning of the year 2016. And so the whole thing for me was just like it was like almost a childlike wonderment, right? You're like, wow, bro, I've never even thought of those things. I've never even, and realistically, anyone that's being honest about this conversation, that's what flat earth did for all of them. All these people that run around saying they think the earth's a globe or that they know it's a globe, all that, there's no doubt that they learned a ton having conversations with flat earthers, researching it, trying to rebut them. The truth is that now I think the answer to this is obvious. Why is this the case? But regardless of what you think about the earth, it is a fact that in 2025, all these adults that now live on the earth, they believe stuff about the earth and the universe and the solar system that they don't understand. They don't know anything. They barely know any of the basics of what they believe to be true. And that the very next logical question one would ask is, wait, why? Why do people not know that? Why did I go around the United States offering $100 to $200 cash to answer three basic questions, which is how many times does the Earth spin every day? You know, how far away is the sun? How big is the Earth? And like people couldn't answer those three questions to get $100 around the whole United States for over a year in every major city in the United States. Well, if we're being misled about the earth and the story doesn't really add up and it's a lie, it's a deception, then yeah, they wouldn't want to put that to the forefront and bring tons of attention to it, right? And so, same reason that you're not told about certain historical events, like the Armenian genocide, for example, or the fact that tens of millions of Christians were murdered by the Bolsheviks, and basically no one even knows about it. So that's the way this conversation with the earth is. And like no one knows. Stephen Hawking straight up said like, whoa, bro, it clearly looks like we're in the center of the universe. And that's pretty crazy. And we can't disprove it. And at this point, I only reject that notion, although the evidence suggests it. I reject it on grounds of modesty. You weren't told that. You just assumed Stephen Hawking was a genius that was brilliant in terms of figuring out all this stuff about the universe, and he knew 100% definitively, that's not even question that the Earth's a spinning globe orbiting the sun in this giant universe. That isn't true at all. That is not true. That's objectively not true. And so the people that go around defending this model, this lie today, they all act like that. Almost all of them. They act like it's a 100% definitive fact. And none of these people, this is something that we've known for hundreds of years, and there's 0% question to any of it, right? We know for a 1,000,000% fact the Earth is spinning and the Earth is revolving the sun, right? And that we're in this giant universe. That isn't true at all, right? And if you look at the major pillars, like the fatherheads of this belief system, they all say, actually, the Earth could be in the center. Look, the evidence just keeps on showing us it is for some reason. It's really weird. But we have a philosophical bias against it. We think it makes more sense that we're not special, and that if the universe was really big, then the odds are, well, eventually the Earth would happen or whatever. And then they still have to beg the question of some miracle, right? And they call it the Big Bang. But okay, my point here is that is true. There's a major deception. There was an intentional effort to make sure that people were dumbed down and didn't really know anything about what they believed to be true when it came to the Earth. That's just a fact. That is a fact. When people hear about flat Earth, whatever side they enter it on, which everyone enters it on, like, this is so stupid, let me just prove it. And whatever side they end up on, right? On the fence, flat Earth, globe Earth, whatever it is, like, they had to go learn tons of things that they should have already known. That's the whole thing with flat Earth, is that it's a process of realizing, wow, I didn't know anything about what I believed to be true my whole life, right? Okay. So anyway, and I explained all that to say, like, that's what was so beautiful about it, was there was this thing they managed to skate by all of us without us noticing, right? Like, they went right under our nose. We didn't even notice. Everyone just, like, believed this, internalized it, saw this little picture on the iPhone, and just never thought about it, never questioned it at all. Didn't know. And then we discover, wow, bro, we didn't know anything. That's pretty crazy. Now that is the current state of affairs. Now people can try to find any kind of little cop out. Well, the education system sucks and blah 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 blah. It's like, yeah, the education system has curriculum. It's specifically crafted for purposes and agendas. Just like the victor is the author of history. We're told certain historical events and narratives because it serves an agenda. Same goes for quote unquote science, and the same goes for the Earth. Right? It's very obvious. So my point is that the whole process is just like, okay, now let's go back to the drawing board. Let's find out what is it that we were believing was true. It's all about, okay, let me just suspend belief, wipe the slate clean, and go back and let's look at the evidence. Actually wipe the slate clean and go look at the evidence, right? That's what it's all about. And you should be able to do that with any truth. And the problem is most people actually can't even do that. Right? Like, the reason people get so triggered about flat Earth is they're all where we all were, which is, I mean, what does that even mean? Yeah, we know what the Earth is. Like, the fact that people think it's something other than that or think it's flat is just retarded, right? That's what we all thought. I always hear the occasional person that claims they've always known or whatever. It's like, okay, 99% of us all were like, this is insane. What are you talking about? What does that even mean? Right? But there's a good amount of people, they can never even take that step forward where they're like, okay, well then what is there to lose, right? I'll just wipe the slate clean, suspend all belief, and let's just go look at all the evidence, right? That's what flat Earth is. Okay, I just want to make that point very clear because, and this is the thing about the whole 24-hour sun that's so perplexing to me too, when people are telling me that they're flipping because of it. It's like, wait, okay, well, we obviously didn't have the same understanding about what flat Earth was. Again, we just wiped the slate clean. We find out there's tons of pseudoscientific fallacies that we were told, we internalized, we believed, we regurgitated, we incorporated into our worldview, but we never fact checked it, never even understood it, never even investigated it. I didn't even know what they were most of the time, much less did we critically assess them or actually try to verify them with empirical evidence or apply any scrutiny whatsoever. So if we just wipe the slate clean, it's very simple. You make positive claims, you have the burden of proof. Okay. That's how it is, right? Okay. So let's talk about what we experience, right? What's the default position? We don't feel the earth moving, and we see everything in the sky moving, right? That's the default position. We see the sun rise, go arc over the sky, get warmer as it gets closer to us, and get cooler as it goes away, and it gets dark and it comes back around, right? Comes back up from the horizon. It just does it over and over. We see the moon move, we see the stars move, and they do complete a circuit once a year. We see everything in the sky move. We don't experience any movement ourselves. So, default position, just if we're just gonna like, okay, here's the empirical evidence. Like, what do we have to deal? What do we have to work with? A, no detectable motion on the earth. B, everything in the sky is moving. Okay. So default position is the earth is stationary and everything in the sky is moving around it. Okay. There's another belief that's like, okay, well, sure, it seems that way. It appears to be that way. But actually, just the earth is such a giant sphere that's moving so slow in relation to its size that you can't tell it's moving. And all the stuff in the sky is actually not moving. It just appears to be moving because the earth is moving. Okay. In theory, could something like that be possible? Sure. It's logically possible. In theory, Superman is logically possible as well. So, okay, where's the evidence? Okay. So at that point right there, this is an objective assessment of the conversation in terms of logic, right? The burden of proof lies with the party making the claim antithetical to the default position based on empirical evidence. Okay? That's just the way it is. Just factually what it is. Factually what it is. Same thing goes for the horizon being horizontal. We see things rise towards our eye level no matter how high we go. And people are claiming that it's curving at a very specific rate. We see large bodies of water, and we know water always finds its level, right? And so the default position is that the Earth's a stationary topographical plane. We fly planes like what? Like the Earth is flat and stationary. So someone's going to come over in the plane and say, okay, actually, though, as we fly over this plane, as we fly over this Earth, we're actually going around a ball. We're actually curving around a ball, and it's actually spinning underneath the plane, but it's moving with us at the same time. It's spinning independent of the plane, but the plane is basically spinning with it at the same time, but not quite with it, but kind of with it, or whatever. It's like, okay, that's a claim antithetical to the actual empirical evidence that we have to treat as if it's true to even be able to fly the plane. We have to treat the Earth like it's flat and stationary to fly the plane objectively, or we would die. If you're making like, oh wait, let me account for how much do I need to move because the Earth is spinning underneath me. You wouldn't be able to fly the plane, right? If you go jump in a plane, go super fast and start dipping your nose down, what's going to happen? Right. So you have to fly like it's flat. Now, okay. The point that I'm making with all that, because we don't have to get into all the specifics. This is a very simple concept, though. It's like the total backwards way to go about it is to kind of like just find any specific singular observation, hone in on that, and then say, okay, I don't know how this would work if it isn't working the way that I was told it's working, the way that the mainstream model says it's working. So therefore the mainstream model must be true until someone tells me a different answer for that. It's like, no. It's still default empirical position. The party making a positive claim has the burden of proof, right? Like that's just how it works. So we still have that fundamental situation at the core of it, at the foundation of it, and that's just how it works. And if we're gonna be specific, let's talk about like Antarctica specifically, right? It's like it's affirming the consequent to say if the Earth's a sphere, and then we go to Antarctica, and there's a presupposed South Pole, and then we go to Antarctica on the bottom of this sphere, then the relative bottom of the sphere, then we're going to see a 24-hour sun, the same that we're going to see in the north, because the Earth's a sphere, and if it's spinning and the sun just sitting there, the sun is going to do circles in the sky above us, right? Okay. So if the Earth's a sphere, there's a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. There's a 24-hour sun in Antarctica, therefore the Earth's a sphere. That is affirming the consequent. It is one of the most fundamental fallacies We cannot live that way. Like, we cannot operate that way, or we would just be retarded. We cannot live our life that way, because you could literally just make countless amount of claims, have a countless amount of beliefs. It's a fallacy for a reason. It lacks reason. It lacks logic and sound reasoning. It isn't a reliable methodology to find the truth. Okay? That entire position to claim that the 24-hour sun proves the globe is affirming the consequent. So what do people do? They say, okay, well, sure, I'm not claiming it proves the globe. I'm just saying it disproves flat earth. How so? Because it couldn't work that way. I don't see how it could possibly work that. Appeal to incredulity. You're saying that it can't be true because you don't understand how it could work. It doesn't make sense to you. Therefore, it can't be true. So you're making the claim the sun, there cannot be a 24-hour sun in Antarctica on a flat earth because it doesn't make sense to me. I don't see how it could work, whatever. It's an appeal to incredulity. Also, a very fundamental fallacy, very rudimentary. Okay. So I guess I just kind of thought people would know this. And now and it's not like I didn't say it, by the way. I did repeatedly over and over and over. But this is the thing, man. It's like I knew that going into it, and I knew this is a once in a lifetime opportunity to go to Antarctica, all expenses paid. I would never pay for that. Never. Especially now that I've been, I definitely would have never paid for it. It could have just been cloudy. It was cold and pretty miserable. Like I would just never like when I got there, I'm like, dude, humans aren't supposed to be here. Like the creator made that place where you're not supposed to be there. It's very eerie. Your humans are not supposed to go there. They're certainly not supposed to like live there. Like we're just not at all. It's not even like you kind of climb a mountain and it gets intense. It's not like certain areas during the winter, if you climb a mountain, it gets really snowy and they have snowstorms. You don't need to be out there during the winter or when it's snowing or up high on the mountain. It's like, no, you run into some ice, and then it just keeps going endlessly where you're not supposed to be there. And it never changes. It's like that at all periods of the year, all the time, 24/7. Like, so the point is, I thought it was very pretty. And dude, for sure, the coolest thing to do, in my opinion, would be to fly over Antarctica. Meaning, like, it would be worth it, in my opinion, for the experience to pay to kind of fly over parts of Antarctica just to get to see it. If someone has money like that, it is so beautiful that it's like breathtaking. It's insane. It's like a movie almost, right? It's like so beautiful. It's like a painting. It's so pristine and it's just like untouched and it's like overwhelming. And it like really makes you kind of sit down and it's humbling. It's so beautiful and like magnificent that it's humbling. Very similar to if you go out to where you get completely away from light pollution and you see all the stars, right? If anyone's really gone out where there's no light pollution anywhere close to you, way out away from any city lights or anything, and you see tons and tons of stars, there are so many stars, it's very humbling. Antarctica's the same way. Okay. So anyway, the point is, I'm just letting you guys know, like that is just absolutely what happened. I got on a plane, flew for an insanely long period of time to get to South America. We get to Punta Arenas. We're there for a little bit, a couple days, and then we get on a plane and we start flying over the ocean south. And we fly for a few hours, and then you start to see water turning into ice, and you see just this boom, like this the most beautiful like extension of ice and snow and mountains that you can imagine. That's just the way it is. We land, the sun was in the sky and it never went away. It just never went away. Okay. And it's like it messes with you mentally and it's like kind of draining and like you can be exhausted because basically I was getting no sleep at all. And then You walk out of the tent or walk out of the room, and it's 3:30 in the morning or whatever, and it's feels like it's noon when you're outside, right? And it's just like that the whole time. It's it's insanely bright all the time, everywhere. It's like, not only was the sun always in the sky, it was, like, always dominating every square inch of that place. Okay, that's there is no like, being confused about whether or not the sun was there. It's like, you can't escape it. It's, like, intense and kind of draining. Yeah, I'm sure some people in the north that they have a similar experience, right, when they have 24-hour sun and midnight sun as well, but anyway, like, I don't know where all you can see it in the north, where would it be quite as bright? I don't really know. I'm sure there are some places like that maybe, but it was so bright, it was crazy. Okay. So, okay. Anyway, I try to answer everyone's questions over and over. And I realize like these people are not being honest. So they're not like, so wait. I thought we were on the same team. From my perspective, I'm like taking kind of, I don't want to go with these people. I'm having to go away for a long time. It's like, it was very bad for me financially. Like, I was exhausted. I ended up getting sick. I'm around people I literally can't stand. Um, but I'm like, "Yo, I'm gonna go out and we need to get this information, right?" Because it's like a once in a lifetime opportunity for us to know what's going on. I come back, kind of like the squad, like the team that I did it for, so many of them, they're like they like pounce on me. So they start kicking me while I'm like exhausted and down in a way, kicking when I'm down in the sense of just like tired and exhausted. And obviously there was a 24-hour sun, so they're pretending it proves it's a globe and taking their victory laps and mocking and all this. And then I come back and then my own team just like jumps all over me. And then I try to continually stay up for hours and hours, night after night for weeks, answering everyone's question while they're just accusing me of lying, trying to deceive the whole world, be an agent, be a shill, lying about everything, all this stuff, whatever. So obviously, what I began to realize is like, okay, so these people aren't even operating in good faith at all. They're not even interacting with me in good faith. Like, there's one thing to think, "Oh, you don't believe it. You think something's sketchy. You were so sure it wasn't gonna be there that you're like, 'There's no way it's there. Something must have happened,' or whatever." Okay, but if you start engaging with me in good faith, then that's fine. But so many people weren't and still are not. And, like, I made one reply on X today. Someone saying that it was fake. I'm like, "Dude, this is such a bad look." And then I'm reading the replies, and people are the way that I'm like, "This is such bad faith." So, that's something I don't have any patience for. I like, and so these people going around acting like, "Where's Austin? Why is he not doing this? Why is he not doing that?" It's like, do you think that I run around doing whatever the anti-flat earthers want me to do? When they constantly berate me and insult me and try to put me down and lie about me and interrupt me, and then take the time in good faith to answer all these questions or to lay out all this information, and they just like laugh, ignore it, interrupt it, weren't even paying attention because they don't care. They're just looking for a gotcha. They're just trying to slander you. They're just trying to humiliate you. It's like, so imagine if like the Mattoons and people like that were coming around telling me, like, "You need to do this and this and this and this." We're like, "What? How insane would I be to try to capitulate to that?" I would never, right? Okay. Sadly, a lot of people that some of which I even respected prior to the trip just forced me to view them the same way, and that's just the way it is. So that played a major role in kind of me just eventually getting to the point where I'm like, okay, whatever. And I was actually even trying to make like a site, right? Um, and then, like, people weren't cooperating with me, wouldn't send me their stuff. I'm like, "Okay." I'm, like, trying to build an entire site with all the data, and then people are, like, not sending me stuff. And I'm, like, keep bugging them and pestering them, like, can you send me all the stuff so I can put it all together on the site?" They just wouldn't. And so I'm just like, "Okay, dude." At this point, it's just like, whatever. Then I extract the GPS data, and it shows my home address, and I'm like, "Okay, what's going on?" And then I try for hours to find a way to not have the home address in there, right, with the GPS, telemetry. Can't do it. It's like I mean, we're talking like hours. So the point, I'll just say this, dude, from my perspective was like, I know, and I know the creator knows this. I went above and beyond, bro. That's the actual truth. Above and beyond. And like, dude, it's all recorded. It's all recorded. How many hours I sat in there answering everyone's questions and going through it over and over and over. And when I was in Earth Awakenings, I was in Ether Cosmology doing it. Okay. So anyway, that's just to kind of like address that's where we get to like, a few weeks after the trip. So anyway, then I have a bunch of stuff go on, like in my personal life. And so I've like there's been some super intense stuff happen in my personal life over the last few months, and it's been like really rough at times. Like there's been periods where it's like been some of the hardest times probably ever for me. So super intense stuff in my private life, in my personal life, very intense stuff. And then like I was getting attacked from like all angles, basically. And then we're talking, I mean, from accounts hacked to all kinds of threats, and this is another thing. It's like my family's always gonna come first, right? Or like the safety of my family and stuff like that. Like, shouldn't that be unspoken? I figured that was just understood. And there are so many people. It's amazing to me. Some of the it's like as if I should like not be that way or something. It's like that's always going to be the case. So anyway, a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. Then at one point, I people were spiraling because I put up a GoFundMe for like 10K. I only did that because I needed 20K, and I didn't even let it go all the way through, and it ended, and I never got much at all, and still need it. And like it's just like a miracle at the stuff I've been trying to pull off, right? Um, and dude, I thought there would be people that would know, bro. I would never go ask for that for just no reason. It's like, and I said you can reach out to me in private, but people got so much to say about it. It's just so funny, right? And apparently, someone said I did that so that I could have an excuse for why I have money now. It's like it's so backwards when the truth is doing what I thought was doing what's right, and I would do it again, right? But like kind of going in the belly of the beast, if you will, and like going into that situation in pursuit of truth because truth doesn't fear investigation, and like doing it for truth and to bring it back to like truth seekers, right? Like we have to go in there and grab it, like, so we can have a verifiable piece of information doing all that, and it's, like, cost me tons of money from the trip itself and then going forward from there, and then, like, an onslaught of attacks, like, financial attacks. I mean, so many things that have happened in the last few months that it's insane. Like, insane. Where, like, I legitimately had to ask for help. I accidentally ended it. I didn't even mean to. People are just going crazy about that, and they're saying stuff like, "I thought you said he was gonna tell us." No, I specifically said I couldn't do that. I said, like, I couldn't tell the specifics publicly, and I still can't. I'm still not going to. And, I said people can reach out to me privately, but the point is, dude, you know, it's just there was so much going on, okay? That's why I've stepped away. All these, like, these theories and narratives about Austin flipped, he's on the globe now, they got some plan with Jiren, he's the same as Jiren, they've been working together, they did this whole time, Austin's a globe earther now. None of this is real at all. None of this is real at all. But I will say, if I have like a break, then I come back and as soon as I look at my chat, it's like the same thing. I'm like, seriously, bro? Seriously? Like months later, people are still doing it. And I will say, honestly, I just have to not care. I have to just not care. But it's just like, why w- I had to prioritize trying to handle the stuff that I needed to that's directly in front of me. And this is not like a super lucrative thing for me by any stretch, right? So I shouldn't even have to explain any more than that. Be like, there you go. So Anyway, yeah, but my position is it doesn't change that the Earth is a stationary plane. It just doesn't. It doesn't. I can definitely see why some people would think it does. They're wrong. That's my actual position. They're wrong. Okay. And I know so many people think like, dude, then think about it, certainly with after all this time, and it's like, dude, I didn't just step away because we saw the sun in Antarctica. I can assure you that's not what it was. Like, just all the fallout and aftermath, and then just coincidentally that timing, having all this other stuff happen in my personal life and with my family and all this stuff all at the same time, like, super intense, where it's like, I that's why I stepped away for so long, and then I actually was trying to seek out whether or not I was supposed to keep streaming and making content, right? I, like, seriously considered just stepping away, and going and doing something else, right? Um, so yeah, anyway, I would be gone for a little bit, then I'd come back and just see like, bro, what is going on? And I guess what I'm saying is so after that time, I lost my track, but what I was saying is like after there's been this long of kind of a gap, right? It would be way easier for me to like leave flat Earth. Way easier for me. Like in every conceivable way, other than the ways that really matter, right? Which it was like truth is always what's most important. No, like, even if it was just for money, right? Like that I could just like, oh, kind of step away, take a gap, and then come back and just talk about a bunch of other stuff and get a bunch of other shows and never answer the question directly. Or if I just actually flipped over to the globe, right? And just went on all these other shows, talk about all this other stuff, even more political stuff, social stuff, whatever, just kind of use my ability to discuss things, articulate myself, and I can debate, obviously, um, entertain information, etc. So just be persuasive and debate with social issues and stuff. I could that would be beneficial to me in many ways in terms of like financially, and I would never do that. I would never do that because the ways that really matter is like, well, truth always matters. I'm not going to, dude, seriously. uh, I'm not going to like ever intentionally omit or sacrifice truth, right? For money, but understanding that, then you should definitely understand why it's like, okay, I have to be able to make sure that I can try to take care of situations outside of that. So, sorry, it's getting like repetitive calls. I got distracted. All right, I'm gonna come talk to you guys, but yeah, like I was supposed to have a pretty decent sized debate, flat Earth debate last night, on a totally different channel. Um, It was gonna be cool because it was gonna be like Zionism and flat Earth. Like we're just gonna debate the stuff we disagree about. I guess Zionism and flat Earth. I was excited about it. It just didn't work out because they didn't like let me know the time until the day of, like super last minute. I didn't see it in time. Um, because the other guy didn't get the confirmation that soon. But anyway, the point is, like, I'm coming back and I'm gonna start doing debates. I told Jane I'm available for debates now. I'm gonna also debate other topics though. you know. Um, So yeah, and I think that Jiren and I are going to debate, and so stay tuned for the official announcement on that pretty soon. Um, so yeah, I mean, again, the default position based on all empirical evidence that's the Earth's a stationary topographical plane. right? The claim that it's a spinning globe that's free falling in a vacuum, an ever expanding vacuum of nothingness specifically, um, has the burden of proof. You need to substantiate those claims. And this is one thing I have noticed with this whole thing is these people that so adamantly vehemently oppose flat earth. Dude, they always run, like, they never defend the claim of motion. Almost never. They all want to jump over to geometry because they can just beg the question and reify stuff, and they just they can't hold their own with the motion. And I'm like, yo, you know what? I think with people like that from now on, what I'm gonna say is, okay, well, we're actually going to discuss that first, or I'm not discussing like flat with you. I'm not discussing the shape. I'm not discussing geometry. If like because it's been the other way around for years. Like every time someone's just getting dunked on, right? When it comes to interferometry, changing relative to altitude or anisotropic propagation, Airy's failure, Michelson-Morley, Michelson-Gale Pearson, et cetera, et cetera. They're just getting dunked on. What do? They just like kind of like a robot start to short circuit, and they just throw out some like robotic, repetitive, like flat earth debunk, quote unquote, as like their get out of jail card. And it's super annoying. So anyway, yeah, that's how I feel. I'm obviously still very passionate about this subject because I think I might write a book about like the removal of ether and basically just like giving my take. It's not gonna be like super long, but just giving my take on what I think everything is. And I could be completely wrong. But I want to put it out in the ether, right? Of what my take on what kind of like what the ether is, what light is, magnetism, etc. Kind of the removal of it and what the importance of that is. And I think it's maybe like kind of a short series, right? Anyway, I just had this idea not too long ago, and kind of started putting it into motion already a little bit. But so yeah, because obviously, and I'm gonna have we're having a summit very soon. Definitely stay tuned for that, right? And it's kind of the general premise as well, right? Like the devotion to materialism. This is like the biggest truth here, and this is kind of the reoccurring theme, the staple that will always keep me going. There's no way I'll ever be able to like nothing could ever stop me, right? Because like it's so important, and nothing else is more important than the fact that there is a creator, and this like this psyop of materialism and nihilism, it is so detrimental. And like, look, if to remove and avoid moral accountability as an adult, you've decided to lie to yourself and convince yourself that there is no divine author because you are just immature and prideful and need to remove accountability. It's like, okay, whatever. That's one thing. Well, when you're doing it to children and you're actually affecting the future world that the children are going to grow up and live in, my children, all children, the future generation, like, okay, now it's very important. And so everything that we see when it comes to the misunderstandings of the way that this realm works, it all ties back to that. It does, right? Because, like, even if we just look at particle physics, right? And like the cult of bombarding particles, where they have to quantify and count everything. It's because of this devotion to materialism. If you look into germ theory, these little tiny balls that's supposedly going to kill you, these existential threats. Everything is about it can only be material. Everything is matter, 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 material, right? So there is no metaphysical like realm outside of this place. There is no metaphysical truth. There is no importance outside of this physical, tangible, material kind of parameter or confinement. And that is so far from the truth, and it's so empowering once you realize that's not the case at all, right? And you are extremely powerful, and you have your intentions are extremely powerful, your beliefs, your actions, right? And so, dude, I mean, it's just so wild that they pulled it off on such a massive scale, right? But they did, and a big part of it is actually this conversation. It absolutely is. And they rolled Einstein out to really kind of try to prop up this materialistic worldview, um, and told everyone everything is relative. Crazy, man, crazy. So obviously, my point is, I'm very passionate about that, obviously, because there is a creator, and that's a major philosophical difference, obviously. And the Earth being in the center proves that as well. And that automatically throws the metaphysical on the table. Obviously, to even have the like any type of ontology whatsoever, or any type of philosophical discussion whatsoever, even to enter into a space in which you are going to reason or try to claim you're an atheist proves that there is, in fact, some type of not only metaphysical, but some type of like direct objective order. Thus, how are you even thinking in the first place and then formulate your position? And so, boom, you've kind of conceded before you even start. The philosophy of naturalism in and of itself is contradictory because it is in fact a philosophy, so it can't be limited to the naturalistic parameters. I'm not trying to go off on random tangents per se, but I'm explaining to you why like that is no one's ever going to take that away from me. Like that's never going to change. We were lied to about the earth. That's just a fact. And conveniently, I don't claim to know definitively what the earth is, and hey, newsflash, I never have. I never have. I've specifically not done that. And for years in debates, where's your model? There are people have tried to get me to claim exactly what the earth is. And I say, dude, I don't think we can ever even know. According to the scriptures, you literally can't even know the dimensions. I'm not claiming to know what the earth is. I'm just saying what it's not. You're claiming to know what it is. It isn't. The evidence has shown that's not what it is, right? The earth is actually not moving. That's what all evidence ever shows, right? And repeatedly so. And that there's something akin to what was referred to as an ether drift, that the sky is moving. And it's like, isn't that kind of common sense? That if the sky is moving and we know that it's not just the material world, then okay. So why do people get triggered about that? Even on like the FE side, I don't get it. Why people get so triggered about that. But dude, it's super important. You realize this spills over into everything, into your health, right? Into like we were talking about like, resolving conflicts because they manifest as ailments and illnesses, but also just like your intentions, your thoughts, your anxiety. What do you think placebo and nocebo is? Placebo is literally proof that your mind's incredibly powerful and the metaphysical actually affects the physical, right? Because people are taking like a sugar pill and literally just because they believe they're taking a medicine that's going to make them get better, even though it is just sugar, because they believe it is going to make them get better, it cures them and makes them get better, thus proving believing you're going to get better literally makes your body get better, bro. You know, and these are such empowering, powerful truths. And it's just out in plain sight. Everyone knows placebo is a thing, and nocebo also, right? So that's why, like, really believing these materialistic lies is so detrimental, especially when it comes to health. But even when it comes to all of it, all of it. Wait, like, oh, there is no objective truth. There is no absolute frame. Everything is relative, and you can never know anything. And we're just tiny and insignificant and just random and chaotic. And it's like I don't think people realize the implications of that, but it's terrible. So yeah, and dude, I will say, this is what's super funny about it as well. Like, no, I didn't flip because I 100% don't believe the Earth's a globe. I just do not at all. Like, the Earth isn't one. It's been disproven. And seeing the sun move in a circle in the sky literally didn't change that at all. It didn't rebut any of the reasons that the globe was falsified. It didn't rebut one of them, not any of them. And it's not as if someone has told me, oh, now I'm going back over to the globe and here are my answers to all these falsifications of the globe. That's not what happened. And it's like, okay, celestial observation. By the way, yeah, we went to Antarctica. I don't know. I don't know exactly where we were. How could I? I know that we went south from Punta Arenas over water for a long time and ran into Antarctica, right? I mean, a huge, immense thing of ice, and we flew over it for a super long time. There's ice and ice and ice and ice and ice and mountains and snow and ice, right? So yeah, Antarctica, but exactly where I was, exactly where that is amongst all of that ice, dude. It was so expansive. I can't even conceive of it. There's no, so obviously I can only know exactly where we were to a very limited extent, but definitely where we went we definitely saw the sun just busting in a circle around us. So yeah, you can see my perspective. I will say this as well. It's like, okay, I can get maybe an initial reaction of like, no, this can't be true. People really didn't think it was. And obviously, again, to recap for everyone, obviously the reason that we were super skeptical is there was a huge shortage of video of it. And then when we pointed that out, that there's a bunch in the north but not the south, then all of a sudden one pops up and it was actually faked and doctored, right? Like they literally now now I know they could have gone down there and taped it, as far as I'm concerned, right? I know some people were saying they don't think that was real sun. I don't agree with that, but I can kind of understand why someone would maybe do that now, which it's not easy to go there and try to film the sun for 24 hours, especially considering clouds, but just in general, it's just not. And imagine like having gotten 18, 19 hours and something happening with the camera or whatever, like the battery died or something, and you're only there for a few days. I can see someone being like, "Okay, I'm gonna take the end and put it and loop it back to where I started or whatever to get my full 24 hours." I mean, I can't see someone doing that. All right, I'm gonna come chat with you guys, but yeah, I guess I just wanted you guys to know what's going on. Like I mean, just know. Obviously, I stepped away for many reasons, but like, yeah, I mean, I had to, and I have stuff I have to deal with. I had to handle. And it's actually been like very intense for me. And, like, this whole narrative that there are people claiming that I got paid off, I got tons of money for going like, so the opposite of the truth, dude. It cost me tons and tons of money, and I've just been financially wrecked the last few months. Like, just wrecked, and actually hacked and under full attack from many angles, and it's very serious stuff. Like, it's very serious. These people, like, making jokes and like, you know, playing like, just playing light about this stuff and, like, continuing to attack. If you guys really knew, you would feel so bad, and if you didn't, then you're just a terrible person, right? You just have no empathy and you're just a terrible person. But I know a lot of you, if you really knew what all I would like had gone through and the actual situation, all the different angles of attack and everything that's happened to me, where it's just like, I just take it all, bro. I just take it all. You know, there are certain things like there are people that know certain things, right? But it's like no one knows everything. Like I just take all this stuff. Um, yeah, it's all good. I think it's what being a man is, obviously. But yeah, okay. Kind of rant over. Let's check. Where are you? Then I'll drop a link, maybe let some people jump on. But I will just say this: like, okay, if I drop a link and I let people jump on, I'm not letting people come on to kind of like to go on long monologues about something unrelated or something they want to talk about. I'm not trying to be ugly. That's just I'm not doing that. I have to get up super early and fly. I have to finish packing. So if I do let people jump on, it's going to be like if you got questions about anything specific like this, or you just want to have a conversation about something specific or whatever, that's cool. But it's definitely not just like a come on and just like rants about something. Like I'm not doing that. So I'm just giving you guys a heads up. Okay, Nick Carey. Great, you're back. A cynical thought, not knowing. I think I'm almost want to do what Fuentes does here, where it just holds all the super chats for me, and then I can just play them and it reads them out. Like definitely what I should do. I'm probably gonna do it. Voice is kind of annoying, but at the same time, maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. I don't know. I'm on the fence. But actually, now that I think about it, that voice it's kind of annoying. I should have him pop up on the screen though and just say screw YouTube. All right, great, you are back. A cynical thought, not knowing you personally, was maybe you stepping back is what someone would do if you were compelled by TFA result, but I didn't want to admit it. Waiting for Jiren, talk with interest. No, I do get that, right? I'll acknowledge that. I can see someone thinking like, okay, well, he's kind of like taking space because he thinks it is a globe. He was also convinced, right? Like him and Jiren went and he was convinced and he doesn't want to like say it. So it's easier to just hide from it. That isn't my personality, bro. I can definitely see why people would maybe think that. It's like you just have to not really know me. And honestly, at the same time, it's kind of like also you would have to think I don't really have integrity, right? Like never at any point in time have I been like telling people behind the scenes, "Oh man, I think it's a globe." Like I would have to have no integrity to come back, think it actually was a globe, and then just not say anything, right? But I do see why people might would think that. But it's like also I know that there's going to be people that are going to like definitively claim that. And these are the same people that just have been incessantly slandering and lying about me the whole time. And I'm not even going to say these people's names, right? And a lot of them were claim to be believers. You know, I would chill, bro. And maybe want to check out my stream or some of my future work when it comes to, or you definitely go to the summit. Epic speakers, by the way. It's going to be epic topics. The theme in general is epic, but you definitely want to stay tuned for the summit. It's like just constantly lying and slandering someone else and like just making stuff up to try to like attack someone else and like, bro, I can't even conceive of that. Even if I couldn't stand someone, I would never do that. In fact, you barely even see me ever get in any beef, right? Like people can attack me, say things, even other content creators, even bigger streamers. You're not really going to see me say my now. I like if I have to, I'll clap back for a second, but I'm just going to address it in and out. But this idea, like obsessively, that's crazy to me, bro. I'm saying this out of love. You're creating a conflict. You're also like, dude, you could get sick. Okay, that's what I'm trying to tell you. I wouldn't do that. You can get sick doing stuff like that. I would strongly encourage you not to do that, not to keep doing that. You know damn well you don't actually know the stuff you're saying. You're saying it to other people. You're convincing other people and telling other people that you know these things are true. You know Witz is lying and you know he's sold out and da, da, da. You're saying it as if you know it's true, claiming to be a Christian. Do you really believe in the creator? The creator knows everything. He knows you don't actually know. He knows you're making that up, right? Like you may actually have convinced yourself you think maybe it's true. You know you don't know it. If you actually believe in the creator, I don't know what you're doing. Maybe you don't really believe in the creator. Maybe it's just kind of it's a cool little thing to just claim, like a little title to you. I don't know. But I I will say I'm genuinely unfazed by it. I don't actually even know. I only ever know if someone else comes and tells me like some of it or something. I'm like, okay, because I don't know. I don't care. I don't keep up with it. Don't care. I don't care. Like they just throw in there with the anti-flat earther basket. I'm veteran when it comes to that, right? Really, there's no like level. There's no like. I could never get so big that all of a sudden it bothered me. I for years have become so desensitized. I like being like a flat earther that does tons of debates, dude. Okay, you are veteran and seasoned, right? You've gotten the worst of it, probably worse than almost any other person or group, right? So I don't really care. I'm genuinely saying that to help you. I think you might get sick. You might get sick with the information I'm finding out now, bro. I would. Okay. Um, but no, I do see what you're saying, Nick. I see what you're saying. Aaron Barnes. God spoke us into existence. Thanks for what you do, Austin. Yeah, no problem. I agree. I do agree. Survey Antarctica with an airship, charging station with detachable drones. It would be cool, definitely, to go there with an airship. At the same time, like I don't know that I'd want to do it. Look, I'm not necessarily scared. I have daughters, and like it isn't difficult at all to like fathom dying there. Like it isn't difficult at all. Like you're just there for a little bit and you're like, oh, I can totally see how you can die here. You could die here in a heartbeat. So yeah, it would be cool though, obviously, to be on an airship just going over Antarctica, knowing that nothing can stop you, just fully freely exploring and seeing how far you go. That would be pretty awesome. Oh, yeah. And yes, of course, I do think this place was created. And I'll give you guys my take in general, kind of like maybe the base premise of the books, the series. It's like, obviously, ether, quote unquote, it's just a word. Okay. So it's like, what exists outside the material world? Something or nothing? Something. Okay. I'm just going to use the word ether. Okay. All right. So this is how I understand it. Perfect stillness, the initial state, the primary state, right? It's perfect stillness. And this is very interesting, right? Because if you ever meditate, if you really start to achieve like stillness, that's when you really have like epiphanies and breakthroughs, and you really start to hone in and you feel like this peace, right? And you can really like hit like strides of profundity and breakthroughs and stuff like that. So stillness, we're in the pursuit of stillness. And like, what is everything in physics? It's like everything's seeking equilibrium. What does that mean? It's in the pursuit of getting to where it can rest, stillness. Now, even though this bottle is actually like it's sitting here, okay, it's not actually at rest, right? It's sitting on the table, but it's not actually at rest. It's not truly still. It is actually still moving, right? Because even the core components of it are just vibrating. So anything in this material world, there's no true rest. There's no true stillness in this world. If it ever were to be truly completely void of any type of displacement or motion or movement at all, it wouldn't be here. Right? This is my understanding. And so ether itself, the primary state, because there are modalities of it, because it's all coming from the same place. But and like, how could you claim to be a believer and deny this too? Is what is also weird. Um, but anyway, so perfect stillness and then a disturbance in that stillness. So like imagine the most perfectly still lake or body of water ever, and then um like the creator, if the creator's like snapped his fingers, or um like in Jurassic Park when all of a sudden the glass of water starts to move because the dinosaur steps uh closer to them. Imagine just envisioning in your mind, you see the water, and then it just like starts to ripple just the slightest amount. It's like, okay, material world. That's what I think. That's static electricity. So anyway, you have the canvas, the stillness, the primary state, and then any type of disturbance within that actually gives you this physical material world. And then the physical phenomena within that, right? Static electricity, magnetism, electricity, light, right? Light's a perturbation within the ether. It's a disturbance. And you have visible light, non-visible light. It's just all based on different frequencies or vibrations within that initial primary state of stillness or inertia, right? So true inertia, right? We use the word inertia in physics on the earth all the time. What does that really mean? There is no true rest on earth. There is no true rest inertial state on, on earth, like in the material world. Okay. And the reason I brought that up though was just to say, like, I think that that's super profound because basically we come out the womb, and really we start before that. And so, like, if you really think about, like, where we're coming from, like, a metaphysical state because obviously there's the spark and you have consciousness, right? And so then you have this, like, this moment that becomes a physical interaction where now you are conceived, okay? And now you go through the beginning of this process where you're gonna go through life and then come out the womb, and you're gonna start to, like, actually become like a human, and you're like, "Why am I here? What's the pursuit of this?" You're right? Why are we here? What are we doing here? What's the purpose? The purpose seemingly is eventually you get back to your state of rest. It's almost as if you're in this long pursuit of your initial state. That's what's at the end of the road, right? Is rest. And maybe like truly understanding the actual process of disequilibrium on your way to the equilibrium, etc. But anyway, I think that's pretty profound. Is that, well, when people pass, what do you say? That they're resting. That is, I mean, what happens, right? So I think that's crazy. Like all the way through physics, all the way to how we live and like our spirit, if you will, it's all the same thing, which is that there's perfect stillness and then there's disequilibrium, and that exists within this material physical world. And then everything in this material physical world is constantly just everywhere you look, everything's trying to seek equilibrium, pressure mediation, everything's trying to get the rest. And then eventually you actually step back off into that perfect stillness, that background ocean, if you will. How dare you? Why was I timed out? I don't know. Twitwit. Can someone tell me in the chat why Twitwit was timed out? So maybe Run Boston could tell me. When did you regain monetization? Haven't caught a stream in a minute. Also looking jacked, brother. Yeah, yeah, bless. Thank you, man. I'm not monetized per se, but I have super chats. I think you can. I know that people are like, "What? You can have super chats, but not have your videos monetized." Well, I think I technically can monetize my videos now. I just don't because they automatically get demonetized every time, and they actually will censor the streams. They're way more likely to pull it down if you try to monetize it. So yeah, um, I'm thinking about maybe I should just turn the super chats off. But what's crazy is I'm like that's the only time people almost even seemingly support. They take like 30%. Um, so yeah. I do want to start really. I'm trying to think of. I have a couple ideas. I don't want to say them right now. One thing I need to want to work on is like sometimes I brainstorm or say things like maybe even ambitiously as I'm coming up with them on the stream. I say them and I say like I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this, and I'm like thinking out loud of what I want to do, and just say it like I know I'm gonna do it, and then don't do it. I gotta be much more like we're doing what we're saying for sure. Um, I have a couple ideas. I'm not sure exactly where I'm gonna go, but for monthly supporters. Like I said, I've just been man, if you know me or you feel led to reach out to me, I can maybe talk to you about all the different details in private, but brother just having to survive and it's just crazy to say the least. Like I don't think you guys can even imagine. So you can imagine how super annoying it is when there's people over here on this side acting like, "Oh, Austin's got it so easy. He got a huge paycheck." It's like, dude, you have no idea. Like, shut up, bro. You couldn't even for a minute. Oh, all right. Let's see what we got here. BPD, thank you for the $5. Douglas, buy the truth and sell it not. Also, wisdom and instruction and understanding. Proverbs 23:23. Nice. Not sure the actual context if that's some reference about if that's supposed to be. I'm not sure, but like as a reference is like truth should always be free. All right. Yeah, but thank you to thrive. We need a skilled orator such as yourself, diving into cultural, social topics and social topics. Collab with Andrew Wilson from the Crucible or Myron from FNF, please, bro. Yeah, maybe actually. And I appreciate. I will say I do think I'm gonna, I'm gonna do some stuff like that. So why would I not? Why would I not? I appreciate it, man. And I am thinking about popping in that direction for sure. Just more social content in general. A Barnes, you should get with James O'Keefe. How can we make that happen? No, I don't know about that, brother. You know what's also funny about that too, though? If I actually do like try to kind of broaden what I talk about and maybe get bigger, so many people, so many conspiracies, man. Conspiracies confirmed. People will spiral for sure. Yeah, Aaron, the answer to that question is always like mutual contacts and acquaintances and networking is always the move. not networking, just mutual acquaintances. Sasquatch, was there any altitude measurement captured on the flights to and from the final location? I.e., there is a theory the firmament may be lower altitude towards the edges, like a dome would. We would be nowhere close to the edge if they're of a dome or anything, bro, because um, it was so huge, bro. It's obvious they would never, if that was the case, they would never take people like all the way out close enough to it where you know something like that. But I do think with the telemetry data from the GoPros, yes, we should have that. So, and I can probably give specific information on the telemetry. I just wanted to dump it, like I wanted to drop it all and dump it all, and I can't because it had my Addy in it. I just couldn't get it out of there. Um, and I will say I'm gonna drop the link to let people join when after I get through these, or here's a second. And the people that have been hating or saying that we didn't go or that I faked it or whatever, right? Like any of the people that are like the doubters, the haters, the one that have been swearing up and down, they know all these things, like Banjo, for example. Someone like that. That's who I really want to kind of give priority to come jump on. See if anyone um wants to jump on. So let me have a grab the link. All right, let me get my computer real fast. But yeah, I guess I could try to like finish doing the site. Maybe people will give me more stuff now that it's been so long. I don't really know. I got really frustrated that no one would like really actively even respond to me and send me stuff. And I'm just like, okay, dude, whatever. I started to put together a whole site, and you can see why that'd be very annoying, right? Where it's like I literally felt like I was doing everything and it wasn't appreciated from any angle at all. Like literally all the way down. You know what I'm saying? Like it's none of it was appreciated whatsoever. That's what it was. So I'm just like, all right, bro. Kill the Bank, thank you for your content. Missed you. Just watched you on Mindshot giving it to Tim Pool and the rest of the table like a boss. Hope all is better for you and your family. Heads up, none of us know. God bless and Godspeed. Thank you so much, brother. Um, I appreciate it. I think I've seen Mindshock's breakdown. I know I've seen some of it. I don't know how many parts there are, but Mindshock's hilarious to me, bro. So funny. Well, yeah, prayers appreciated, etc. John must have been shocking to see Jiren become rapidly so obtuse and illogical after the TFE experience. Sad to see. Theories abound is greater than sleeper or sellout for cash or blackmail for unknown secrets. Hard to believe he just lost his mind. I do not think at all that Jiren sold out or was gotten to or blackmailed. I don't think I was just because I was there. I was there. I saw it. I just think that Jiren thinks it's a globe. He thinks there's no other way to explain it. And once he was in his mind, he was very sure that we weren't going to see it. So when he did, for him, he equated that to, oh wow, like my whole entire conception of flat Earth is wrong. He thinks it's a globe. I mean, I don't. That's actually what I think. And I was with him almost every single second of the trip. Right, we stayed in the hotel together. We stayed in the tent together. Like we were with each other like the whole time. So obviously we weren't with each other literally every second. You know, like he would go into town, I would go into town. We would do our own thing at times. But I'm just saying, like I was right there actively. Really, after the flight, talking to him right when I could tell he had started to. I started talking to him about it when he had started to kind of flip. Scoundrel, how does the 24-hour sun work then? Seems like faith. Seems like faith. I will just say, think about this, right? It's like faith in what? Like, I don't have to. I don't know how the sun works. I don't know how the moon works. How I don't know, even know how does the moon work? Like all the stuff that's on the moon, how does that work exactly? What exactly is it made of? How do meteor showers work? Like how do galaxies work? I don't know how galaxies work. Like what we call galaxies. How do these rotational areas in the sky of like seemingly immense energy, how does that work? I don't know. So it would be faith if I then started just making stuff up and had to believe it. I don't have to do that. And it's funny, right? Because it's like you could just flip it around and say the same thing for the other side, right? Well, it's actually faith to believe like, oh, well, actually the sun's not moving when we see it moving, and it's a giant ball of gas that's collapsing on itself inside of a vacuum. So gas fills the available space in all those scenarios, but it's actually collapsing on itself and became a ball inside of a vacuum, and it's 93 million miles away. And it appears to be moving, but actually it's not moving. It's just because we're tilted and wobbling and spinning while we're moving around it, and it makes the sun look like it's moving. And actually, it's so far away that it's not going to change size too much, but it's actually going to only change view based on our relative angle because we are on a globe. So, basically omnidirectional viewing angles. And so we're just tilting on this sphere, therefore changing our angle of view. And in order to be able to do that, we're going to have to claim that the sun is super far away. In order to be able to claim that, we're going to have to claim there's nothing between us and the sun. And same goes for the stars. And so we actually have to claim that we're seeing the actual position of the sun and the stars. Therefore, we have to claim that there is emptiness, nothingness all the way between us. And we have to claim that basically stars are infinite distances away and that the only reason that they change is because of how we view. I want you to really think about this. You have to make all these assumptions and have all of these baseless beliefs. That's what they are before you can even make the claim, right, that there's a 24-hour sun in Antarctica because the Earth's a globe. Like literally, you have to make all of these assumptions before you can even affirm the consequent. You have to say, oh, well, everything in all of history looks like it goes down in the distance due to perspective. When we see a plane fly over our head, right, as it flies towards us, it looks like it's going up. And then if we turn around as it flies away from us, it looks like it's going down. We see a plane fly away from us, looks like it's going down. Everything does that throughout all of history. So as things move away from above us, they look like they're going down. Or from below us, they look like they're coming up, right? They're converging towards this middle area, this convergence point. If they're coming towards us, it looks like they're going up. It's just how it works, right? Right. We can agree on that. That's how perspective works. Well, to believe this globe, before you can even get over to make this affirming, this consequent, to believe this model, you're actually saying, you have to say this, that, well, the sky's the one exception. It does exactly what perspective would cause it to do, and the perspective does in all other scenarios to everything else that exists at all times, always, forever. It does the exact same thing that perspective always does, but it's not perspective. Trust me, bro. It's not perspective. It's actually because we're tilting backwards or forwards physically just so that it looks like it's doing exactly what perspective would do and does in every other scenario, which is called special pleading. Special pleading and just constantly reifying the concepts constantly, so, and then affirming the consequent. Anyway, so you're saying like faith. There's obviously, yeah, I've seen like affirmant and like some type of little apparent sun over in the corner. I've seen a few different ideas, like a kaleidoscope type of idea. The sun seemingly apparent relative to the personal observer, but yeah, that was a lot. But I think it's so funny. It's like seems like faith. It's like the amount of faith required for the current mainstream model is so laughable, and it's like I think this is kind of the point. Is like both sides maybe do this some, but one side does it way more. And I try to actively not to do this. So like such double standards. Like people that believe in the globe, the proponents in the globe that, and I don't know what you believe or what you think or anything like that, but like they have such double standards, right? They're like, for example, if they want to talk to me about gravity and I say everything's intrinsically electrostatic, it's 10 to the 26 power stronger than gravity's even claimed to be on the smallest scale, and all molecular and intermolecular attractive forces are electrostatic in nature. So like the very fundamental building block of all of matter, everything that exists is electrostatic forces, because again, all molecular attractive forces are electrostatic. We know that's just like the fundamental building blocks of everything that exists. Right? And there's no exception. Like everything's electric. There's no exception, right? And then I can actually then manipulate an electric field, and I can make an object go down faster, or I can make it go up, or I can make it levitate. I can effectively change its weight. And so, everything's electric. And then those people that believe in the mainstream model, they'll become so hypercritical. They're like, wait, did you control for this? What about this? What about this? Well, maybe that's true, but there could be something else, right? And you should be like skeptical and critical and try and like really make sure that like an experiment is legitimate. But then when it comes to their belief, they'll believe that space-time bends and warps, and that they can't actually independently verify it at all, because they can't even get to it to where they could then manipulate it at all. They can't even verify. They don't even understand it. It doesn't matter at all. It doesn't work. When we look at the sky, it's off by over 96%. 99% with just the coma cluster. Literally, 99% of the mass is missing. The equations don't work at all. Don't work on the quantum scale. Doesn't even make sense. Paradoxical. Anisotropic distribution just proves it. On and on and on and on. But you will believe that. You will believe in relativity or like modern conceptions of gravity in pure blind faith with no evidence at all. But then I'm showing a real physical, tangible experiment showing a cause and effect relationship. It's a provable, real thing. And that's not good enough. Or there must be like, it's pretty funny, right? Like, I'm just saying, I think it's ironic when people would ever say that like this side is one that requires faith. It's actually like totally the opposite. It's just you have to suspend belief, set it aside, right? And then just go back to the drawing board and be like, okay, I need evidence for all the claims. That's what pretty simple. What is your Ko-fi URL? It's kofi.com/what's it. So all right, I'll drop it. I need to find like a couple of mods I know can be here and will like always drop links and stuff for me. Right. I just dropped it in the chat. So I am going to drop the link to join. And I'm not going to be on here too much longer because it's 11:40 and I got to get up really early. I am putting together a singular stream. I'm putting together a singular link that will have like everything on it, similar to like a link tree. But I haven't quite finished it yet. Didn't really have time to finish it. Today was rest day anyway, right? So I was chilling. All right, I'm gonna go and get a drink and use the bathroom really quick. I'm gonna drop the link before I do that so people can start to go ahead and jump in. So I'm gonna drop the link in the chat if you want to talk. I wonder if there's something I can play that will actually be interesting. Let me see real fast. And also, anyone on Ko-fi, kofi.com/witsit, we're gonna read them and check them out for sure. Let me see if I have saved anything. Pin the link in a comment. Yeah, I'll pin the join link for sure. What I'm trying to do is I don't want to just walk away or just always play just my song, I guess. I always have a pretty big drop off, so I'm trying to find something. Some of the stuff is I couldn't even show. It's so funny. So maybe not. Maybe not after all. Oh, you guys saw the whole like tsunami warning for the West Coast though? What do you guys think about that? Sorry, give me just a sec. I'm just gonna find something. I guess I'll just play my song at this point. All right, so I'm gonna drop the link. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat. Oh, let's go here. I'm just afraid that that might get me struck. All right, so sorry. I'm just gonna play a video. We'll drop the link in the YouTube chat. I guess I can drop it in my Telegram too. I don't know. I could drop it in the Rumble chat. We'll drop it in the Rumble chat. We'll drop it in the YouTube chat. I'll pin it. And like I said, though, guys, I'm like, what I don't want to do is I don't want someone to come on and just kind of like, just go on this big long rant or monologue about something completely unrelated or anything like that. Also, I want people to be respectful. Like, I'm not gonna censor anyone. In fact, I'm gonna prioritize the people that claim I didn't go to Antarctica, or I'm lying, or I'm faking, or have been all critical of me. All these people, they say it with they don't really say it with their chest, right? But they pretend to on their keyboards and all this. Everywhere I go, all my replies are. So it's like I want to hear, like, let you guys come on and say your thing, right? Let's hear it. So I'm gonna prioritize those people. Um, all right. Let me I got a video for you guys. It'll be a few minutes. I'm gonna go get a drink, use the bathroom, and hopefully we'll give it enough time for some people to join. It's my boy Robot Polisher to shout out to him. It's actually going to be entertaining for sure. Hopefully it's not going to get me censored, but we'll be all right. You guys ever heard of Arc browser? I've been using Arc browser for a while now. I haven't switched it onto my PC, just my laptop, but I love it, bro. Arc browser. Okay, here we go. All right. And here's the join link. And in the YouTube chat. And if one of the mods can kind of grab it, maybe periodically drop as well, but it should be pretty easy. A 23.5-degree tilt would lead to total darkness and polar winter because of light attenuation. Crisis King, thanks for not switching up. Yeah, of course. And I will say, if there was some like alternative reality where for some reason I did all of a sudden think there was a globe, like I would immediately be yelling about geocentrism at the top of my lungs. And I would have felt like, in a way, I had even more of like an in on these people, right? Where, can't really stop me. So, all right, we do got a couple people joining already. I'm gonna play the song. I mean, not the song. The Robot Polisher video. It's just a couple minutes. I'm gonna go get a drink and use the bathroom, and then we'll chat with people. And like I said, keep any cussing to a minimum. Try not to cuss at all, really. Right? It's like a vocabulary game. Let's build our vocabulary skills and not like do the whole like interrupt, aggressive, or monologue or whatever. But I want everyone to kind of get their stuff off. You know what I'm saying? All right. Be back in a couple of minutes.
Lie to me! What the fuck you doing? Call Steven Spielberg, get some special effects on this shit. Get George Lucas on the case. CGI, motherfucker, CGI! What the fuck? Lie to me!
No one has ever done that in a controlled laboratory.
Okay.
So if they can do it, there's some magic that they do. And okay, it's just not useful if I can't reproduce it in the lab under controlled conditions with cameras and everything. It's just not useful.
On fire.
Tell
You cannot recreate the speed that we're going to on the ground. We're much faster than the speed of a bullet.
Bullets move so fast that they can't be seen with the naked eye.
No aerodynamic or aerothermal test facility can recreate the conditions that we will see.
Something that could never be accomplished in a laboratory here on Earth.
17,500 miles per hour.
17,500 feet a second.
5 miles a second.
Much faster than the speed of a bullet.
About 25 times the speed of sound.
50 times faster than any race car.
For us to get it there, the vehicle requires a velocity of Mach 30, 37,000 kilometers per hour. That's about 13.5 times faster than a speeding bullet.
Bullets move so fast
that they can't be seen with the naked eye.
Much faster than the speed of a bullet.
No aerodynamic or aerothermal test facility can recreate the conditions that we will see.
If I can't reproduce it in the lab, under controlled conditions with cameras and everything,
it's just not useful.
You cannot recreate the speed that we're going to on the ground.
Something that could never be accomplished in a laboratory here on Earth.
Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. Oh no, no, you can't disguise. Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. Oh no, no, you can't disguise. Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies.
Even though we're going 17,000 miles an hour right now, the Earth is pretty big, and the orbital period for most low Earth orbit, like this orbit we're going to today, is about 90 minutes. So if you're taking a full 90 minutes to circle around the entire Earth, makes for a pretty slow-moving simulation experience, but it is actually going very fast right now.
All right. Pretty good timing. All right, so we got a bunch of people in the queue. I'm going to add everybody. So if you do have a camera, obviously definitely better quality if people can turn their camera on. If not, not the end of the world. I'm going to add everyone, so obviously please don't interrupt people and let's just have some decorum. And let's try this out. Show. What's going on?
What's up, man?
What is going on?
I'm just going to say great stream, dude. I'm excited about the summit. Before everything spirals, I'm going to say I want to see a bunch of you at the summit. It is going to be legit. And thanks for doing the stream, man.
Yeah. How's it been? How you been, brother?
I missed the boat on staying on track and like really calling you out, but just getting involved with Alex Zek and Confluence and the way forward and getting this to drink out of has been amazing.
Nice.
You can leave this out in the sun and then the sun will structure it. But anyway, I look forward to everything that you're pumping down the pipe, dude. You're on track. You look great. You're strong and fit, and it looks like you're back. So I'll let the folks that are going to spiral, but I got nothing but love for you, man.
Well, nice talking to you, bro. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I heard Confluence was awesome.
Yeah. I met Mark Gober there and Stephen A. Young, both of them legit based and gave flat earth talks and everybody was receptive. I mean, it was really, really good. I also, I'll drop links in the chat if you watch for it. Everyone should try to go to Confluence if they can. But yeah, I'll share the mic. Thanks for having me on real quick.
Yeah, I think I might speak at the next one.
Yeah, I hope so.
Maddie, what's going on, bro?
Nothing much. I'm not here to spiral. I'm more on your team. So that's not very interesting. I wasn't really here to witness the whole thing. So I was just wondering like what I more have a question of like what the pipeline is, because there's a lot of stuff going on regarding the community and everything. You know what I mean? Like he just said, we have some stuff coming down the pipeline. I was just wondering what that was because I enjoy tuning in.
I mean, like what I have coming up?
Yeah. Or if you've even given anything on that.
No. I mean, so I'm gonna start doing debates. So I reached out to a couple platforms that normally will reach out to me for debates because I like taking a break. I told them like I'm available for debates now, so I'll start doing debates again. And pretty interesting debate with a guy who's got a pretty big platform who's like a Zionist. So that should be interesting.
Oh.
He's like, so it should be like flat Earth and Zionism. Obviously, I'm not a Zionist. And then I have the summit. The summit's going to be June 14th and June 15th, and it's going to be awesome. So obviously, Jiren and I used to do the summit together, and obviously that's not happening now. So it's kind of a whole new thing, rebranded. It's going to be called Etheric Summit. And I already got some super legendary speakers on there. So that's going to be super cool. It's a 2-day event. Tons of speakers come and talk. So that's kind of in the immediate future. Let me add the new people here.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right. All right. Who else got something? Everyone can just talk whenever they want if you guys got something. Someone's got a TV
What's
playing.
up, Austin? Good to see you.
That's my bad. Let me mute myself.
What's it?
What's going on, Sean?
Hey, man. Good to see you again. I'm excited to see you streaming again. I hope all is well. Been praying for you. I know it's been tough, but I'm good to see you keeping your head up and you're staying focused.
So, yeah, brother. I appreciate the prayers, bro.
Yeah, man. Faux show.
Dude, I will say, dude, one thing I don't want to necessarily open this up right now or anything, but I've been like, okay, so I'm really kind of interested in the accurate, like, ethnic group of the tribes, right? So, like, someone reached out to me. I was talking to them on the phone the other day, and they were telling me, like, they think for sure, like, American Negroes are Israel, or at least part of them, and then they have the 400 years, and they kind of curse to kill each other and all this stuff. And yeah, it's pretty interesting. I guess he was pulling out certain verses that describes the appearance like maybe a jasper stone. It's kind of like brown and stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah. But did he tell you about there are those descriptions, but did he also tell you about the descriptions of being ruddy?
Yeah, I saw that. He didn't, but when I was looking to it, I saw that. Yeah, which is like, it's like, it kind of describes like when a white person gets embarrassed almost.
Right.
Like blushing.
Yeah. Yeah, the concept of what's his name? Esau actually being red and hairy versus Jacob coming from the same father of Israel. Coming from Isaac, the same father. So some of those certain claims you gotta definitely study out their claims, look for the context of where they're making some of their claims, their ethnic claims. Because remember, ancient Israel had this concept of the law, which allowed people to be grafted in to Israel. So they had one law for the foreigner and the native. So you could have a lot of people grafted in from different cultures around Israel. They were intended to be a light to the nations. So you would have a mixed group of people is what I'm trying to get at.
For sure.
So like in Leviticus 25, there's an Egyptian father who married into the tribe of Judah, who's mentioned. He came out with him in the Exodus. So that's an Egyptian that's now a part of Israel.
Right.
So sometimes you're going to get a lot of ethnocentric claims from certain groups out there claiming, oh, Israel only looked like this, but they were a mix of people.
Yeah, that's kind of like where I was for sure, is that I think there's probably like even a span of pigment, amongst all the tribes. But yeah, just very interesting, right? Because obviously some people being kind of mistaken for Egyptians, or being able to blend in with Egyptians. Yeah, it's just interesting. And obviously this idea of like the people kind of claiming to be Jews right now, okay, so their take was when it's like, oh, we've never been enslaved when they're talking to Yeshua, and it's because they were after the tribes kind of merged and they were kind of grafted in, and they weren't actually put in captivity in Babylon or Egypt, and that's what they're referring to. And he says they're of their father. I don't know. Obviously, that's a huge can of worms with that. I'm just saying I am pretty interested in it because the guy got me thinking about a lot of stuff. But
Yeah, I've been trying to have BHIs on my channel for years. They just never respond to me, my emails, and they don't seem to want to have a conversation with me, which is strange.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they
Black
would,
Hebrew Israelites.
because
Yeah.
because they
Yeah,
make a lot of
like
these similar type claims.
yeah, some of those so some of those guys are awful, bro. They're like the worst ever. They're like
Yeah.
you can't be saved and all this crazy stuff. But some of them, I've met some who think that they are from the tribes, like they're Israel, but that it doesn't matter, per se, right? That like everyone's grafted in, or you can be grafted in. That even if you are from the tribe, doesn't mean anything. You know, it's like not everyone from Israel is of Israel or whatever.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
I don't know.
the Pharisees that killed the Messiah was of the tribes of Israel. That didn't mean
Oh,
anything to
exactly.
them. Yeah, they got grafted
Whoever
out.
it is, like murdered the
They got
Messiah,
grafted
called
out
for
with a
them.
quickness. Yeah.
Yeah, and then said,
Yeah.
may his blood be on our children. Saying, yeah, I guess the only thing is, and we don't have to. We
Yeah,
can
leave
move
the
on from
children
this.
out of it, man. What the children do? Leave them out of it.
Yeah, but like the idea is like, does it matter? Meaning, like, are we supposed to be able to identify any specific group of people here in the end? Like, is that actually going to happen in the end? Is there going to be like a group of people that are called up or called back to him? Because like, really, it's pretty undeniable that American blacks have. If they were cursed, it wouldn't be too much of a surprise, right? Like they definitely kill each other. They like are are squandered in poverty consistent. I don't know, but who knows?
I think Jesus said it best in John 8, talking to the Pharisees. He said, "If you were of your father Abraham, you would do the deeds of Abraham." So it doesn't matter your blood lineage. It really doesn't. It matters your behavior. Are you doing the behavior of the Creator or not? So the promise of the coming kingdom of God, the return, the second coming of Christ, is that He rules over all nations with the same standard of behavior, the same law. Isaiah 2:2-5. There's also Isaiah 42:1-7. Right, the nations, the distant coastlands, will look for His law, because all nations come under His control and they all have to abide by the same standard of behavior. So it doesn't matter who you're born by, your father, mother, ancestry. It doesn't matter. It's about your behavior, and that's what gets you grafted into the kingdom, and that's how the kingdom is going to be run when the Messiah returns.
Right. And I would 100% agree with that. I guess the question, my question is like, is when it says basically like his people, like Israel, has turned away from him, and then He will basically touch their hearts and bring them into Him, and so a lot of them will turn back to Him, kind of towards the end. Some
it's
will,
happening
some
all
won't.
over the world right now. Yes, you're thinking of Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 1-4. It's already happening all over the world right now. It has for the last several decades, and it's not just within certain ethnic groups. It's people from all over, from every country, every nation and tongue, and they're realizing the commandments is how you worship the Creator. It's not
Okay, yeah, that makes okay. So that makes sense.
Yeah, it's people from all different pigmentations, all different country borders. It's literally been the great revival that's not being televised all over the world. People are coming back to remembering His commandments. It's Jeremiah chapter 30, 1-2. And then verse 3 and 4 is the regathering from every nation under the firmament. And then verses 5-10 is the resurrection leading to the kingdom come. So it's we're already in that. In my understanding, we're already in that phase where people are waking up, and it's not because of a certain denomination has the best explanation of the Bible. It's people from all denominations, all walks of life, even unbelievers. And even in the topic of the flat earth, there's a ton of people coming into that topic as well, because they're realizing there is a Creator and we are in a specialized, intelligently designed realm. And so there's people from all over, from all backgrounds, from all intelligent levels. They're all coming in right now. So be encouraged, man. I think we're already in that season personally.
Nice. Okay, yeah, that's cool, man. That's what I currently think as well. It's
Are
just
you
in
doing
general,
debates?
all mixed up.
Are you doing debates with it?
Thanks, Winston. I'm going to jump off. Brenda Debates got axe to grind with you. I'm going to jump off though. Appreciate
all right,
you guys.
much love, brother. We'll talk soon for sure. You mean like right now? No.
Axe to grind.
No, I'm not. I'm not doing
interaction with him at all.
Not doing debates right now. No. Like flat Earth debate or anything. No. I open up the lines for the people that were saying that think I didn't really
I'll
go to
debate you on
Antarctica.
atheism.
Okay. Well, I don't think you will. But like I could give you a chance.
I will.
But I think that you'll interrupt.
I'll crush you.
I just think you'll interrupt, and like I can give you like a couple seconds maybe. Like, okay, do you believe in the first and second law of thermodynamics?
Not right now.
Okay. So what? Okay, well, I think you lost. So, all right, who else do we have on here?
There's a lag. I'm having trouble with the audio. I'm having trouble with the audio.
Yeah, I feel like Sean was lagging too. Run Boston, are you lagging? Am I lagging for you?
I don't think so.
No, you're right there. Yeah, you're right there. No, but I will just so it's not meant to be, Brenda, maybe some other time, but basically I'll just very quickly completely destroy atheism, right? So like this belief of naturalism, a naturalist is like basically everything is kind of confined to and limited to the natural world. And so obviously then your standard intrinsically would be natural laws, right? And so you have the first and second law of thermodynamics, like the most kind of indisputable natural laws. The first one is that matter and energy cannot be created nor destroyed. So if we just come to the table with the basic question about atheism or creationism, right? Like, how did all the matter and energy get here? Basically, how did everything that exists get here, right? If it can't be created or destroyed, how did all the matter and energy in the universe get here? Option A is it was created, which means, that doesn't make sense. That violates the first law. Or it was always here, right? There's really no other option. And so the atheist could say, oh, well, it's just always been here. Why couldn't it always be here? Okay, fair enough. If we go to the second law, which is that entropy will increase, systems seek equilibrium, and so the amount of usable energy decreases. So in really simple terms is as a system has to equalize, it uses up energy to do that, right? And so that means it's constantly decreasing. The amount of usable energy that's left decreases. And so that means it has decreasing from a beginning point, right? Because obviously you can't just regress forever. And so to quote Stephen Hawking, who quoted Arthur Eddington, obviously, you can have any type of theory that maybe doesn't work at first, but if it goes against the second law, then you're done. It has to work with the second law. And then he gave the example of human progression. Obviously, it had to have a beginning point. So now we know there was a beginning. So if we go back to the first law, natural law, right? First law of thermodynamics, we can no longer say it was just always here because we know there was a beginning. So now if we ask the question again, how did all the matter and energy in the universe get here? Well, we can't say it was just always here because, again, the second law requires a beginning. So now we're only left with it was created. Okay, so what that means is it violated the first law of thermodynamics. So now it needs to be attributed to a force, right, that isn't limited to natural law, i.e. supernatural. That's the definition of supernatural. So we need an external supernatural force. So also not limited to time. So eternal, external, supernatural force that created the matter and energy. And so then the final question here is, well, what's the antecedent? What's the necessary antecedent for creation? The answer is creator. So atheism is not tenable. It's literally not tenable.
So there's no such, what's it? There's no such thing as an antecedent, necessary antecedent.
No. What's the requirement for a creation?
That's begging the question.
What is the requirement for creation?
You're begging the question with it.
Okay. So you have too much of a lag, so this isn't going to work. But I'll even stillman what you're trying to say right now, and then I'm going to move on. So you're trying to say I'm begging the question by using the word creation, but no, you obviously didn't listen at all, right? The first law is matter cannot be created nor destroyed. I'm not begging a question. We're talking about the first law of thermodynamics. Matter and energy cannot be created nor destroyed. But then we covered how if we apply the second law as well, there had to be a beginning, which means it had to be created. And so now we need something that's supernatural, not limited to the first law of thermodynamics, i.e. supernatural, right? Attributed to a force that's not limited to the laws of nature. And it's external to the material universe. So it's external to this material universe. It's eternal. It's supernatural. And it did, in fact, create it because now we know there's a beginning. So it had to come before that. So what created it? So I wasn't begging the question. We were just talking about the first law of thermodynamics. If you have beef with the fact that create is in the first law of thermodynamics, you have to take it up with the person that wrote it. All right. We got a couple people on here. Let's add the new people. All right, what's going on, fellas?
What
up?
What's it? Woo!
What's up, bro?
Good, yo?
Hey, just wanted to come in here and say, it's great to see you back and lend my support and just let everybody know out there, hey, it's great to support Witsit and see you looking better than ever. And just, people knew this was going to happen, that it was just needed a little time to collect your thoughts and regroup. And I hope you've been feeling the prayers that have been coming your way, because they're in the, by the droves. So welcome back.
Nice. Thank you, brother. Yeah, man, I just needed some time, bro. Lots going on, but yeah, I appreciate all the prayers for sure, man. Super, super clutch.
Yes. And you guys keep praying, because, if we've learned anything from all this, it's that the globe side, like Witsit explained, you have to have a lot of faith in their model for any of it to work. So that 24-hour sun, if it's circling above your head, the earth has to be spinning in their model. And if we're not spinning, then that whole thing falls apart. So we can come back to the flat side and go, hey, these people are a little bit closer to the truth. Maybe we don't have it all figured out, but we're on our way. So
for sure.
Well, Witsit, speaking of globe faith,
Witsit falsified the flat Earth.
Oh, how did this person get unmuted? All right, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna.
Brenda is a legend. She can get it anywhere.
All right, sorry, Sean. Go ahead.
Hey, I know you've been busy recently, but speaking of globe faith, did you see the debate with Will Duffy?
I saw part of it, not the whole thing.
Oh yeah,
and I kind of skipped through it. Trying to think, I watched a decent amount of it. Probably, I tried to watch a good amount of your intro. I watched part of his response where he was just like super pretentious and like dismissive. And then I skipped. I didn't watch a ton of it, to be honest. I like have it saved.
That's
and I haven't.
Yep, I know you had a lot going on. But
hey, Jiren.
Sean.
Hey, Austin.
Just a second, bro.
Hey, what's up, man? How are you?
Good, bro. Good. Come on, just a sec. Sean was trying to say something.
Oh, go ahead.
It's okay. I think there's a lot of lag for some reason.
I know. I'm trying to figure out. Like, some people are lagging, some people aren't.
It's all good, man.
Probably my Wi-Fi.
What? Okay. Whoa. Okay, Sean. Let's let Sean say what he was going to say real fast.
Yeah, I was just going to say, if I felt bad because of that debate, because I feel like I extremely over-prepared. I don't know why. I took Duffy to think that I really thought McToon was going to be helping him prep, but apparently that didn't happen. It was weird. It was awkward. So anyway, I'm just surprised. I haven't seen anyone in the flat Earth community review the debate, and I'm just like, I'm surprised. I would have thought people would have taken some kind of review against it, but
I haven't. Maybe I should just. Maybe we should just watch it on here. Maybe I'll just watch it on here. I haven't watched much flat Earth content.
Yeah, if you think there's anything of value you can pull out of it, for sure. But I was just surprised because it was not a good showing, and I was interested. You've been gone, so I haven't been able to talk to you, but I'm interested once you watch it to see if it's the same Duffy that you spoke to while you're on the trip. I don't think that he's cloned. I'm not talking like that. I mean, like, is it the same type of bravado, the same type of like surety, like the points he made, the type of? It just seemed like it just seemed really odd. Like he wasn't prepared to represent TFE and to defend everything he was doing. It was weird. It was a weird interaction.
Well, I will say, I mean, that wouldn't even particularly surprise me, because on the trip, basically the dynamic was he was always just turning and asking McToon everything. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, yeah, everything. Basically, McToon was like, it's like he was on a field trip and McToon was the teacher kind of vibe. So,
yeah, it was weird.
I don't know.
Weird stuff. But you guys are awesome. I'm just gonna listen.
All right, much love, bro. All right, who do we have? Jeff, what's going on, bro?
What's going on, brother? How are you?
Good. How are you?
And my question was, how often do you and Jiren talk, or do you guys even talk at all?
We talk some. I mean, not a ton, but we talk.
How did those conversations usually go?
Pretty good, man. Pretty chill. I mean, we don't talk about flat Earth anymore. You know, I mean, we talked about flat Earth some at the beginning, but we don't really talk about that now. And we talk about occasional logistical things. But I'm not the kind of person that's just gonna like excommunicate someone from my life or act like I hate them or something because of what they what they think about the earth. Like I was friends with Jiren before this. I'm not gonna like so.
No, absolutely. I was just wondering if you guys were still in communication, and then, like, since I mean, honestly, you guys have been friends for how many years now? I just can't see how you guys could still be talking, on occasion, and he does not see it. I mean, how does he not see it?
I don't try to convince him of anything. So I mean, we don't talk a ton. I mean, you know, uh,
Right, like you're saying, you guys don't even talk about it anymore. You're over it, but now you're gonna just have a debate just for the hell of it.
well, I think
And
it's just
then,
beneficial for everyone. Everyone's asking for it. I think, yeah. I mean, obviously, he's convinced some flat earthers apparently that they need to leave flat Earth and go back to the globe, and a lot of people have asked me to debate him. And I also think us being able to debate and be like respectful, where it's not this vibe of like the end of the world and everyone's freaking out and spiraling and it's just so intense and let's attack each other to the death vibe or whatever. It's probably good for everyone, So I think that's kind of the objective, and
absolutely.
and I do want to just show the flaw in the general premise as well. So yeah, I think that's what the people wanted. I wasn't going to do it at first, right? I would have never wanted to debate against Jiren. I would have never thought that was possible, but people have asked for it a lot. And so, yeah, I think we're gonna probably do it. I mean, we'll give the official announcement here soon.
And I saw that James O'Keefe comment. I thought that was funny. I was like, you don't want that heat, man. That drama would be way too much. But I'm here to just watch the rest of the stream, y'all. Thanks for your time and knowledge, brother. And you have a great night.
Thank you, brother. Thanks for jumping on. DJ, what's up? Were you trying to say something, Sengo?
Hey, how are you? Finally,
going?
nice to talk to you.
Yeah, two DJs.
I just
How are you doing?
I a couple of minutes man-to-man talk. Is that all right with you?
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, I'm an outsider. I'm Italian. I'm living in South America. Maybe here I represent a little bit of people looking at the flat earth movement in United States. And they have questions. So I want to be honest. I don't want to be bullshit with you. I like you. And the beginning of all your show was like a little cleanup of your background or whatever happened to you. I really don't care, but that's what it appears to me. And I think you are very, very one of the best, well-prepared guy around. He knows, the shit. So a lot of people are looking at you, and then they see shit like, oh, he's asking for money. Oh, I look at the chat, and he's probably listening. Flatter Dave. Oh, ask him his relationship with Jiren. Come out. Tell all the shit. Tell the shit to everybody. Come clean. You're going to be one of the best one.
Come clean about what?
People don't know. So, it's like something, the guy flip it over and, no, I'm talking to him. And it's like gossip. It's like TMX. That kind of shit. You understand?
Yeah, and I think it's gay.
And it's like, to me, it's like a waste seeing such a nice guy that thinks over and knows his shit. But I gotta tell you, because I listen. And a year ago, you had a debate with a guy that I personally don't like a lot, Professor Dave, right? like a year ago, you have a debate, and the guy was coming after you about why the stars are turning one way in the north and the other way in the south, and you were not getting back to him. And I'm
That's
like,
not what happened.
what?
That's not what happened. I said, if you turn the opposite direction and view the stars, they'll appear to go the other way. He then denied that. He said, no, they wouldn't. And he said it so confidently that like people believed him or whatever. I don't have a globe, but he then spun a globe, right? He spun a globe. So if you imagine I'm holding the globe and I'm spinning it for you guys, it's gonna go
Yeah.
left to right for me, and at the same time, it's gonna be going right to left for you. Even though it's only spinning one direction. So if you did that with the sky, it's all spinning one direction. If you look at it north, you're gonna see it spinning a certain way, like counterclockwise. If you turned around and looked the opposite way, you would see it spinning the opposite way. He actually denied that was a real thing. Like, for example, if like my daughter could understand it. If like the windows got really foggy and I started drawing a circle in it, right? I can see it going left to right. If you were on the other side of the window looking back at it, you would see it going right to left, even though I'm just going the same direction. It's just based on which direction you're looking at it, it goes the other way. He literally denied that that's a thing, and then everyone acted like he won. And it's yeah, and that's the thing about debates, man. It's like if people if people are really confident, if people act like they're really confident, and then the moderator was interrupting me and like trying to help him, so he got away with it and got to just kind of act like he won. And then I mean, apparently a lot of people fell for it, but
yeah, just saying, keep up the good work. Came out clean on every aspect, so no one has to say nothing about you, and you'll be great. That's
thank you, brother.
Opinion.
Thank you, brother. Yeah. Okay, cool. I appreciate it. I feel like I've been pretty transparent. There's certain things, obviously, specific to my family. I'm not going to necessarily go into detail. Okay. Brenda, you were super delayed, and also it's 12:30. I have to get up. I have a super, super early flight, so we can't do a full-fledged debate right now.
I understand. But you were wrong about the circling stars. We're on the same side. We're on the same side.
That's what's up. Okay.
We don't go to the other side of the sky.
Okay, I didn't. Yeah, we don't go to the. We don't go to the other side.
That's what you said. You go. If you see a clock face moving on a glass, you go to the other side. It appears to go to the other way, but we're not on the other side of the sky.
Okay, you don't. Okay, you don't have to be on the other. You
Yes, you do.
Brenda,
Yes,
this is the return of Witsit breaking the silence. We're not going to torture him right now, girl. Thank you for joining us, but
Professor Dave,
let's give him some peace.
Yeah,
and
sorry.
Witsit, just get some rest. Thanks for coming back. People obviously have been waiting for this, and we're super excited. So
Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else got anything else you want to say before we wrap it up?
Enjoy your flight. Peace, brother.
Love you, brother.
Much love. Much love. All right.
Psalms 139. That's I would read that one for you.
Wait, real fast. Roger, did you want to say something before we got out of here? I don't hear you. Can anyone else hear him?
Nope.
Yeah, it says you're not muted, but we can't hear you, brother.
You can hear you.
Still can't hear you.
Maybe I can't hear him.
Double check the input and make sure it's like your phone or whatever, or try to leave and come back real fast. Dang, DJ, I missed the verse. What was it? Proverbs what? What do you say? Much love, Jeff.
Good night, y'all.
Much love, DJ.
Good night.
Yeah. Later, bro. Thank you for
love,
everything you do.
Maddie. Yeah,
Later,
yeah.
bro.
Thank you. Thanks for jumping on, bro.
Thank.
Oh, can you say something? Nah, can't hear you, man. I'm sorry, brother. We'll do this again, though. You can jump on. I'm sorry. We can't hear you. But we'll talk soon. All right. Thank you, everyone, for jumping on. Well, yeah, it's already 12:30, dude. I still got to pack. I always do this. I always procrastinate. I'm tripping, man. All right. I did want to open up the line some though, but all right. I love you guys. I will read off the Kofi next time. I promise. Just give me a break because I need to be able to sleep. What always happens, I procrastinate and then I stay up and I have to pack, and then I end up pulling like an all-nighter before a super early flight, and then it like ruins my day, and I really can't do that. So, I love you guys. We'll do some more streams. I will be back like Monday, so it'll be a pretty long day, but maybe I can stream Monday night. And stay tuned for the summit. It's gonna be dope. You definitely want to go to the summit, but you guys will see. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be like 10 times better than even the other summits, which were dope. The other summits were dope. It's gonna be incredible. So stay tuned for that. And that should be announced very soon. Next couple days, everything should be like, you should be able to get your tickets and stuff like that. All right, I love you guys. I'm just gonna go ahead and wrap this up right now. I'll read off the Kofi. I promise. Yeah. So hopefully this helped clear some stuff up for people. I have not changed. I am the same person. I know I didn't just randomly start believing that I'm on a globe that's tilted, wobbling, spinning, flying, free falling through an ever expanding vacuum of nothingness. I believe very strongly in having integrity and in being honest. I believe that if you're not, it'll come back around. I believe that to whom much is given, much is expected. I believe that I've been given certain gifts and aptitudes. I've been very blessed in many ways, and that I have a responsibility with that. I feel I wanted to know if I was supposed to come back or not come back or continue to make content. I know that I'm supposed to, and I just want to do what I feel like I'm supposed to and like led to do. Also, like I have to figure things out financially. It's been intense, man, to say the least. So, yeah, I've had a lot going on. It's been a really crazy last few months for me, and prayers are appreciated. And yeah, we're back. We're gonna start doing content a lot and debates a lot. So cool. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it, and I will talk to you guys later. Not tomorrow. I am gonna start trying to like post daily in my Telegram. I changed it to a discussion channel, so that's pretty cool. So my Wits It Gets It Telegram. And I will update the description on this stream, maybe right now or maybe tomorrow, because I don't necessarily want to put it out before it's completely ready, but it'll be like my link tree kind of thing. It has multiple pages, all of the links on there, so it's like one-stop shop. You can go everywhere. Cool. All right, I love you guys. Seek and speak truth unequivocally. The weak find contentment in the consensus of ignorance. So who cares what other people think? You know what I'm saying? Always going to attack you. It's become clear to me there's a certain group of people that are just going to swear up and down whatever these narratives they say of me are true, and they've kind of buried themselves. And I will say a lot of this has been me like getting ready to come back, and then I can kind of see like people reacting to that. So then I fall back. I've gotten to see a lot of people's true colors. I've been in like my count me out season, and like I wanted to see exactly how what everyone was really feeling. So that was part of this. Not all of it. Obviously, I've just like had a lot going on. It's been very intense. So, all right, cool. I love you guys. I'll catch up with you Monday or Tuesday, and should have some pretty big debates coming up as well. They haven't been finalized. Stay tuned for the debate announcement, and we'll tell you when and where and all that, and to the summit, and also to the official fasting dates, which I do plan on trying to do a community fast before the summit. And dude, I will say this to you guys before we got here, dude. Like controlling when I eat and what I eat has like completely changed my life and transformed the way that I feel and the way that I look and everything. And then if I fall off of it and I start eating stuff like, I don't ever start eating really bad, but if I don't eat my like animal based diet the way that I was eating it, like so lots of fruit and stuff, and honey and raw dairy, and if I started like I eat more like bread or like burrito or something, or I would eat outside of like kind of my circadian time restricted eating windows, I could feel a noticeable difference. And I'm just saying that to tell you guys, you should definitely try to get a control of that. Control when you eat, do some intermittent fasting, and like really show discipline and control your windows in which you eat, I strongly suggest it. I really do. And you can go to ethericState.com, get some of the blends. I think we might be out. Or you can go to Dragon Blends, use Austin 10, you get 10% off. And if you don't want to buy the blends, which I strongly suggest, you can just use like lemon and salt water, and it helps. It's not quite the same, but it does help. When you're hungry, it helps curb the appetite. Okay, just wanted to pitch in there because I've given people plenty of time to start to prepare for the community fast, because I really want people to get healthy. I want to help motivate a lot of people, especially young men, to get healthy. Yeah, you got to do it. You got to do it. Whoever's supposed to hear it needs to hear it. You got to do it. You got to do it. People love you. People count on you, and you need to take care of yourself. Okay. I love you guys. I'm going to play a song, then we're going to get out of here. I'll catch up with you soon. Peace.
That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Rappers acting say they high, say they simple pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up, had to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in the field. That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Took the way you saw the world, then distorted it. Now you think you wanna rock that twirl somewhere orbiting. Theories disproportionate, the truth distorted quick with a forceful grip. They force a misinfo that we absorbing quick. Took the people's signature that mean extorted it. They forging it. If news anchors informants who informing them, there's a surplus, but they tell us there are shortages. Credit economy mortgages, dollar that's supported with empty fortresses. But what's important is this: we courting ships, important gifts. Of course it is, but extortion is in accordance with an assortment list of foreign tricks we ignoring, which informing this, informant this. It looked like we were snoring tricked. Pedophilia and the government endorsing it. Yeah, eugenics is exactly what abortion is. You just vilify those insubordinate. Way to matrix engineer, that's unfortunate. Geopolitically, we in a field. That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Rappers acting say they high, say they simple pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up just to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in a field. That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real?